This is your boy Milan, aka Millie Mill from the Ville. What's going on, y'all? Man, alright, so COVID-19 this year, when it first came about, it was like that was a blessing in disguise because I'm working, but at the same time, I can spend some time at home with the family. It's coming, just be ready for it. When you see it, be strong, get through it, don't run from the problems, don't run from the trials. Pray that God makes you strong enough to endure those strongholds and those trials.
B.Rutpro.com.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is your boy Milan, aka Millie Mill from the Ville. What's going on, y'all? We are coming all the way from Montgomery, Alabama, man, to Gump Town. This is where we coming from, man, all the way from the 334. This is where we at now, man. Down at the riverfront. Man, 2020's been a roller coaster for us, man. We got 5 kids in the household, me and my wife, man. We've been doing virtual school, having to go in from work 50-50. I gotta go into the job 3 days a week. Then I'm at home one day. My wife gotta go in, gotta take the baby to daycare. So just imagine, we've been going all over the place at this point, but it's been good to us though, because we had our 4-month-old little girl. We had her back in August. So that's a blessing that we had from 2020. So 2020 was not all bad. But it's like with the quarantine, everybody thinks it's really bad, but we feel like it brought us together as a family because without the quarantine, we would not have time to be able to spend together as a family for real. We'd be separated and split beforehand because before the pandemic, man, I remember we didn't have that much time to ourselves for real. Like every day outside of like Friday nights, we were somewhere. We'd be at ministry meetings, we'd be at praise and worship rehearsals, we'd be at Bible studies, we'd be at after school programs. We always had something to do, and it was like outside of Friday night, maybe like Sunday night getting ready for Monday morning, we was always busy. So it was like the pandemic and COVID made us take a step back. And it was like, okay, so y'all gotta reevaluate since y'all gotta be quarantined, be in the house with each other, and y'all gotta step back. That's where Zoom came in at. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people are gonna be using Zoom after the quarantine is over with because of the simple fact that now we're using it and it's like the new way of life now. So they got board meetings on Zoom, they got Bible studies on Zoom, they got children's after school programs on Zoom. So you never know what they having next, man. Right now, I'm in accounts payable actually for the state of Alabama. I've been there since April, so I'm going on a good 8-9 months. My wife, she been teaching. So she's a teacher. She's a history teacher. She been doing that for about 12 years. So she a beast. Like she got the credentials to be a principal if she wants. But I mean, right now she loves kids. So we trying to play that part and be a big positive influence in their life too. So, and before I went to the state, I was actually working at the schools too. So been told a few times, man, you might want to think about being a counselor. So we talk to the kids every now and again. We try to keep that positive influence going because it's not many out here. So, man, all right. So COVID-19 this year, when it first came about, the way it impacted us on our jobs, man, I'll talk about me first because it was a huge incident that happened back in April before I switched over to the state. So I was working from the school district, and then it was like where I had put in a 2 weeks notice to switch over to the state, but then COVID happened right in between it. So that was making it seem like that I would have to continue my duties, but before I put the 2 weeks notice in. So I had basically had to talk to the board and get them to understand what happened. And it got to a point where they didn't want to pay me. So I'm like, I actually applicated my duties and finished out the April month. So I had to turn in paperwork and get proof from my principal that I actually completed the work, and then they finally paid me for it. So then I switched over to the state, and it was just like, oh man, okay, cool. So now I got another job. But then April training was cool. I liked it because all training was online, virtual. They was already in the full-blown pandemic mode because the way our job was set up when I first got there, they were doing like 1 day on. So if it's 1 day on, that means they come in 1 day to turn some paperwork. The other 4 days of the week, they at home doing remote working. So for me to come in directly into that, it was like that was a blessing in disguise because I'm working, but at the same time I can spend some time at home with the family. So, but with my wife, the way it impacted her job, COVID, it was kind of confusing at first, because at first they was telling the school district that they was doing virtual schooling. So like in the middle of March, canceled school, but they canceled it completely. They didn't even do virtual, they canceled it. Then they came back virtual, but then they switched it and said that the teachers got to go into the school, then the kids still virtual, but the kids have the option to do in person or virtual. But it eliminates the fact that the teachers don't have that option. So the teachers have to go in and do online and virtual. So it made her workload double, but her pay wasn't double. She got that same exact pay. And the way it impacted us with the kids, because since they had that option, it took away our children's option to have the option to do online or in school. Because it's like, if we are both at work, nobody's here watching the kids. So they don't have that option anymore. So it's like now all of a sudden it's a bigger problem with our household in particular, because I'm working, my wife has to go in, and now we have to find a babysitter or use the daycare for the kids because they no longer have the option to do virtual or in class. And we don't want them to do in class because COVID was in full blown and full swing right then. So we decided to do the daycare, and thank God that we actually got the assistance we needed for the kids, because 5 kids at the daycare, just do the math, that's a lot going on per week, man. So, but the Lord definitely blessed us, man, and we were able to still function as a family and as a unit. And now we're able to work more at home. My mom and my brother down here helping us out with the kids too. So it's a big surprise to everybody, but it really is helping us out. So
B.RutPro.com, live event videography.
COVID has affected, I think I heard a few cousins that I heard COVID affect. My cousin back home had gotten it, but thank God he had got better from it. It was a coworker that I worked with. He still works there now, but he had tested positive, and then he had got it from another coworker. So that means they shut our floor down for about a week, and they quarantined everybody, because you got to do 2 weeks of quarantine before you can keep going. But immediate family, that's a blessing. I didn't hear anybody or know anybody who had immediate COVID that I knew personally, outside of the cousin that I know back home in Michigan. So goals for 2020 and transitioning into goals for 2021, I believe are same and hand in hand. The immediate goal, and it's a long-term goal, the greatest goal is to be able to work for yourself, to be able to not have a 9-to-5 job that you have to go to, see what I'm saying? And it's to the point where we encourage each other, me and my wife, we encourage each other every day to get to the point of being able to be financially free from everything. We started a YouTube channel, so keep out for that. My Milan W Customs is still going, man. Making t-shirts, hoodies, about to customize hats and all that good stuff, man. So just make sure you hit me up on Facebook, Instagram. It's always gonna keep going. But family is the biggest goal that we have now. We're trying to embrace each other at this moment while we still have time and still have the space, because COVID is there, and the COVID is still making some people shut their doors. And it's like, if school doors are shut, we have to be able to have a relationship as a family. And that's the biggest thing of all, man, having a relationship as a family, because it's some family members that don't have relationships with anybody. And I do wish I could get, so I would say that'd be a goal for me. That'd be a goal for me and my wife. That's one thing we can talk about. From my side of the family and her side of the family, we thought about doing some special cards or special gifts just cause. Like, not for any specific holiday season or any specific birthday or thing. We just thought about sending cards out or just sending love to family members that we haven't reached out to in a while. And making that our family tradition, and making that the Williams family tradition. And because we always talk about, man, I wonder what such and such doing. I wonder how such and such doing. So we said, why not? Let's just try to find out how they doing. Let's send them something. Let's send them a card. Thinking about you. How you doing? or sending a text, something small, man. But I think that's one of the biggest goals we have for 2020, outside of the idea that I said I can't share with y'all, but family, man, because we want to be, that's one thing I want us to be the generation, I want us to go back. That's one thing I miss about my previous generation, my parents, my uncles and aunties. When we had holidays like Christmas, Thanksgiving, outside of the pandemic, it was a big thing. It was a huge thing. Like, we're going to Christmas at such and such house. The entire family go, like, not split, like everybody there go. And I feel like I want us to be that part. Like, man, we want to get our house together. Hey, man, come to our house for the holidays. Everybody. Again, it's after COVID. After COVID. But that was like, because my family wasn't as big as my wife's family. Like, she got like, I think she has 11, 12 brothers and sisters, outside of one that died. They passed away. But other than that, her family is a lot bigger than mine. So she's getting me more family oriented. She's getting me more in touch with family and emotions and being there for other people and being more persistent and not being so passive and being able to talk, being outspoken. So, which is a positive thing. And I feel like that's like a biggest goal. And the biggest goal of going to 2021 is getting to 2021. That's one of the biggest goals that everybody should have, actually getting to 2021. Because we've seen so much death, we've seen so much hurt, we've seen so much pain over 2020, man. They talk about another strand of COVID coming out, man. It's so much death and it's so much negativity and it's so much hurt coming out. Oh, that's one thing that I can share with y'all. I was gonna end up making a podcast. It was gonna be called, I forgot what it was gonna be called, but it was gonna be positivity and good news surrounding that podcast, because there's so much negativity out in the world. That's all we see. All we see, like, from the city that I'm from, you see Detroit, all you see is shooting, guns, fighting. That's all you see. But it's so much positive that goes on in certain cities that we don't know about. It's so much positivity out. You say, okay, you see the accident over here that somebody got ran over, but you don't see over here when somebody got saved out of this burning house or got saved in church. Like, you don't see stuff like that. The only thing we see is like, because negativity sells. Negativity sells in this media. So it's like, somebody has to be the light. Somebody got to start it. Somebody got to start that fire, because the one fire is already engulfing everything. So we gotta start another fire, man, and keep it going. My testimony, just a short, sweet bit of it. We actually talked about just a piece. I think I told you about it before. We had a laugh about it, but it was where we grew up around shooting. We grew up in Pinewood Townhomes, Pontiac, Michigan, man. It was an incident. I forgot how old I was. I think I was in elementary school, where I was playing a game upstairs, and my mom had asked me. She said, "Hey, can you go get some water? Can you go get me some water?" I said, "Yeah." So I went downstairs. Next thing I heard, fire. We know what was going on, man. The only thing I know is, it's crazy because I don't really remember details, but I remember the end result. All I know was my mom ran downstairs, yelling my name. And I'm not sure it was the fact that either I was like surprised, afraid, or I just blacked out and didn't hear anything. But she said she found me curled up behind the TV downstairs. Like, and I was real little. Like, when I was younger, I wasn't this tall. I wasn't 6'1". Like, I was like maybe like 5 foot. Like, I was really short and I was real skinny. I always was been small. But she's out curled up in the fetal position under or behind the TV set. And she kept calling my name, trying to grab at me. I would not move. And I told her, this is recent, I said, maybe I might have just blacked out. And it's like, when you hear stuff like that, your hearing leaves, like, you just black out. So I said, I might not have heard you calling my name. So, but the greatest part of that testimony is, and I'll say this, be obedient. Obedience is better than sacrifice. And if I would have just took a small, man, nah, you go get it, or I don't feel like going to get it right now, I'm in the middle of this level, I'm in the middle of this game. Because we went back upstairs, and right where my head was on the wall was a bullet. Like, not a hole, the bullet was stuck it was lodged in the wall where my head was playing a video game. So it's like, I thank God every day. And that's just a piece of my testimony. I mean, I got a lot. I could talk for days about my testimony, man, because I'm not where I used to be. I'm not. Like, just from marriage alone, we gonna put our honeymoon out there too, because nobody has seen our honeymoon. We honeymooned in Vegas and LA. It was so much fun. We got to put that out there for everybody. But what my wife taught me to see was myself. She taught me to see myself. And you'll know when you find the one, when you marry someone, and it teaches you to change. It teaches you want to change. Like, if you want to change yourself, because in a positive way. And it was to the point where, let's just say it was like a mock interview she had with me. And she asked me a simple question. She said, if I was to hire you, tell me why I should hire you. Tell me about yourself. And it was to the point where I was so frustrated. This was a few years ago. This was before we got married, man. I could not tell her. And I got so frustrated. I got so mad. And I told her, it felt like I was mad at her, but I was really mad at myself, because it's literally the smallest question in the interview. Tell me about yourself. Like, tell me three words or three things that describe you. And I couldn't tell her. I couldn't tell her, man. I got so frustrated. And it was like, after that day, I told her, I said, thank you. She said, why? I said, because you got me to see that I don't know myself. I don't know myself. So it was like, with that and studying, man, make sure y'all read. Please make sure you read. I'm not a big reader, but I like the Audible book app. It reads to you. And it was like, I feel like God is leaving us without an excuse. He leaves us without an excuse. You can't do that? Okay, cool. Do it this way. You can't read, like, they got the Bible app that'll read to you. You can't read the word, listen to it. Leave you without an excuse. So I feel like for 2020, 2021 and beyond, you do not have an excuse anymore. We ain't got no more excuses, man. We just got to make it happen. We have no more excuses. You want a business, go do it. You want a car, go get it. You want that job, apply for it. The worst thing they can say is no. And whether you know it or not, no's are positive. And one thing I'll take from a movie I saw, y'all might know what it is. All publicity is good publicity. If you get a no, it's just turning you in the right direction to that yes. That's all it is. If it's no, okay, cool. Like, it's a gate that's closed. No. All right, let me turn around and go this way. Maybe it's a better way. Maybe it's a different path that'll still lead me to the same destination that I need to go to. Hey, the road to heaven is narrow. It's very narrow, man. It's narrow. It's not a wide road to heaven. It's a very narrow road to heaven. I'm pretty sure it's single file. It's narrow, man. It's narrow. So, I mean, hey, that's what I can say, man. Positivity needs to come to 2021. Good vibes, man. Be positive. Don't let anyone tell you no. And if they do tell you no, just say thank you. I appreciate that no. And go the other way. And I guarantee you'll hear yes. And you will appreciate that yes. You can hear 1,000 no's. When you hear that one yes, it'll feel like them no's don't even matter. Guarantee you that they will not matter after you hear that one yes, man.
B.RutPro.com. World-class voiceovers like this. City of Riverdale's Gospel on the Green presents the Canton Jones Fam Fest. We take the time to talk to our clients and come up with unique strategies for their business. This program has been brought to you by the friends and partners of Breaking Walls.
Challenges I face. It's so many, but I'll say this, all of them have the same format of being able to overcome it. So I'll talk about the format to overcoming the challenge that me personally, I have done. It's been to a point where, man, I've been cussed out at my previous job before. When I was growing up, I've been spat on, like literally somebody hawked and spit on me, like not metaphorically, literally. But it was like all of them made me think. One, you got to address the situation. And what I realized about adversities and overcome and things to overcome and things like brick walls that get in your way. Address yourself, not the brick wall. Address how can I be able to, well, basically what can I change or what can I improve about myself to be able to come over this obstacle? Because, for example, I'll talk about the one that I got cussed out at school. What I realized is, if you control your environment, you'll be able to overcome that obstacle, and you can show the obstacle that the obstacle does not control you, but you control the environment around it. You can't necessarily control the obstacle itself, but you can control the environment around that obstacle, and in that sense, you'll be able to win the battle. With what that was, I stayed calm. That's one thing I remember doing with an obstacle, or with let's just say, with the devil in your face. If he's on 10 up here, you want him to come down here. You can't meet him up here, because with obstacles, they're meant to make you upset. They're meant to get you hot. So if it's on 10 and you get up there, they're just going to go to 20 and make you rise up with it. But I realized, you stay calm, you stay cool and collect, no one's going to argue with themselves. So you can have somebody yelling at you, and you're calm, you're talking to the person regular. Eventually, they're going to stop yelling, because they're going to realize how stupid they look from yelling and y'all arguing with themselves. But with different adversity, like let's just say job interviews, just like when I was talking about before with the nose, man, beforehand, when I first started understanding and really knowing myself, I hated rejection. I hated rejection, man. It was the worst thing. When I heard the words people say on TV, people say from like phrases and quotes, worst thing they could say is no. Dude, no's hurt. When I was bad, like, man, no, that's bad. That's horrible. Like if you want to go to college, like, I wanted to go to Michigan State. Bad. I mean, bad. I was 17. I never forget, 17 years old, my pops had took me to the interview. Now, granted, I didn't have the credentials at all to get into Michigan State, but I didn't know that. No one told me. My pops was just like, you want to go to Michigan State? Cool, I'll drive you to Michigan State, let's go. He drove me up there, I went to the interview. Dude, I don't remember nothing from the interview. All I know is they told me no. Dude, I cried on the way home, dude, I did. I cried on the way home, man, because I wanted to go there so bad, but it was like, I don't really know why I wanted to go. I didn't want to go, it's like, I just wanted to go because the school name, because the school was known, because the school was popular, I just wanted to go. But it was like, when I had to sit back and address myself and understand what I'm going to college for, what college will be good for me, what I'm going to do after college, and how much you want to pay for college. Tuition is a big thing, man, tuition. So I ended up going to school in Alabama to an HBCU. I loved it, graduated with a bachelor's degree. Loved it, man. I had so much fun. And any black person, I'll just say, if you're an African American descent, go to an HBCU. HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities, man, it shows you. In a nutshell, it shows you. It's like outside of the recreational, they have classes, they have professors that break it down to you. They have classes like African American Studies, and it's just amazing to see you around the campus. Amazing to see you around the campus. Positive light, and that's one thing, positivity. Being able to make a difference in that light, and just being surrounded by warmth, being surrounded by family, being surrounded by brothers and sisters, not even blood related. Not saying PWIs don't, which is predominantly white institutions, but it's not the same. It's like it's something that can't be explained. It's understood if you actually go to a campus. Like it's just a different feel. It really is. Like from rival schools to organizations, because I played the organization. Band competitions, homecomings, dude. We got some of the best homecomings at HBCUs, man. They be jumping. So it's like, if you don't attend an HBCU, go to a homecoming. Just go to a homecoming. I guarantee you will think about it because it's so much fun. But at the same time, you can get education. You get education. And right now, I'm actually utilizing my degree with my state job. So you get the education and you'll have fun on top of it. But like they got sports teams. It's just so much jam-packed in it. But it's very inspirational, man, especially when you realize who all went to HBCUs, like Martin Luther King Jr., all of most of the Black history icons went to HBCU. So it's like the difference that they made, you can make that same difference and then some. So it's just being able to make a difference to the younger generations and to be able to tell them and to be able to speak their language in an educational light. Man, dealing with rejection, the easiest and the simplest way to put it, the world is not over. It's not over. We all get rejected. Life is not perfect. Life is not perfect, man. When you hear rejection, whether it's from a relationship standpoint, whether it's from a job standpoint, God tells you no sometimes. I'm like, man, so just remember, as long as you stay focused on the path that you're on, if you have a goal and you stay focused to that goal, continue going towards that goal. Rejection is going to come. Rejection is a part of life. Rejection is a part of it. It's not the rejection that gets you, it's the way you react to the rejection that gets you. Life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. And that's real. So I'm like, words are just words, but the way they make you feel forms the words and make them reality. So just remember, life's not over. You start a goal, you start a vision, you start on a path, continue that path until it's done. You start a job, you start work. We always tell our girls at home, when you start something, finish it. Don't stop. You start it, you finish it. And that will transpire with you when you become an adult, when you tell your kids, I started, I finished it, keep going. Because then you'll get used to not finishing it. You'll have thousands of unfinished things and you're gonna be known as a procrastinator. And that's not a good thing at all, to be known as a procrastinator. But being that person that sets forth a goal, finishes that goal, goes to another goal, and being able to inspire people and tell them, hey, I was just like you. Now I'm like me. So, I mean, just like my boy B, man, he had a goal. B.Rut, man, I really commend you on your goal, man. You've been recording for years, dude. Like, years, man. From the first time I met you, you was in videos, man, you've been recording. And now this boy got his own business, man. I'm telling you, it's all gonna pay off. And what I can say is, if it's easy, most things that are really easy to come by is not worth it. When you put that hard work to and put your feet to the floor, and you really start and you really feel that struggle and feel that hardship, when you finish, it's gonna be all worth it. I guarantee you be like, oh man, feel like a weight lifted off of your shoulders. It's gonna be in that mud, and you can sit down and look back like, wow, I did that. And it's gonna feel amazing. You'll be able to sit back and look at your business, or look at your goal, look at your finished product. And that's the goal. Finish that product, man. Finish that product. You started, finish it. Man, Milan 10 years ago, let me think. Milan 10 years ago was 22 years old. He was in college. I believe I was in my junior or senior year in college. The advice I would give that Milan is stay focused. Stay focused. Don't be wavered by anything. And just remember, you got this. You got this, man. You got this. I regret nothing. I'll say that I regret nothing because what I went through is this is what you see. Without me going through that, you would not see me here now. I probably wouldn't be married to the wife that I love and love dear right now. I probably wouldn't be married to her if I didn't go through what I went through. But the one thing I would tell him is it's coming. Just be ready for it. When you see it, be strong, get through it. Don't run from the problems, don't run from the trials. Pray that God makes you strong enough to endure those strongholds and those trials. Because I'm like, if you ask God for strength, you ask him for patience, you ask him for wisdom, he don't give it to you. He give you the opportunity to be patient, the opportunity to be wise, the opportunity to be strong. So just be ready for it is what I would tell my younger self. And I'll tell y'all, if you want patience, you want wisdom, you want that opportunity to love someone, ask God for it, and he will give you the opportunity to be able to fulfill that. Because it's in you already, because you asked him for it. It's already in you.
B.Rut Pro